talk to us a little bit about that beautiful coalition. Are you ready, Pastor Lanier?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm good. So I just bring your expectation down from, like, if you were expecting speech, bring it down to discussion. You know, I don't have speech energy left. I'm just one of you, and one of a group of people who are concerned about, our people, our land, our community, our ability to work together. And God just blessed me with some oratory skills and put me in a place where I have some influence. But that just makes me one piece of the puzzle. Everybody's a piece of the puzzle and a part of the team. I'm a pastor, lawyer, educator, writer, deep commitment to justice, in particular Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hometown is Buffalo, New York. I lived in Detroit, Michigan. Those three cities, plus here Milwaukee, Chicago, and Cleveland, historically and perennially. Sky, you got to move back, son. It's okay. For years are some of the poorest in the nation, most segregated in the nation, highest negative data for African Americans, Hispanics, by data points. And so I've been blessed to navigate and to achieve in those places. And it vexes my soul that everybody doesn't have that same access. I, again, was blessed. My father played professional basketball in Detroit and Milwaukee, so that opened some doors for me that others didn't have open. So I know people that are more smarter than me, more gifted, more dynamic, who may not have had the access I had, and I just believe everybody should have that. So that puts me in the place where I'm always creating space, advocating, pushing for systems to do the right thing. So the Fight for Our Lives Coalition, I'm really kind of in a meditative space. I'm just coming from church where we are doing a Bible study. It's a 6-week study. This is the 4th week. We are looking at the documentary King in the Wilderness. It's about Dr. King's last year and a half, going into Chicago, coming up from the north, from the south rather, and finding out that the north, the level of hatred in the north was worse than anything he ever experienced in the south. Those are his words. And then going from Chicago to the Riverside Church, where he preached or shared one of his most significant speeches, the speech against Vietnam, and it was well praised in the room, but became public enemy number one squared the next day. So in the room, that was, again, I'm reading, listening to in the documentary, it hit. Everybody was overwhelmed, but the next day he was public enemy number one. Friends, alumni, fellow black preachers, the government, allies, everybody fled from him because he was against the war. And so that's where I'm coming from, that space. And one of the questions was about, where are we now? And, what could we look to? Who could we look to? What do we need to do in this time, nearly 60 years later, where we're going backwards? And I have thought this for more than a little while, that the key is for, in this nation, a multicultural, cross-sector, interfaith, cross-class coalition that feels to me like that's the only thing that makes sense as a possible wall against the chaos that's manifesting, because it's manifesting against, power and big money and billionaires, and individuals are easily crushed and movements are easily crushed. But when you look at people of goodwill, cross-sector, cross-culture, cross-race, faith, class, gender, etc., that makes up a majority. And so that's what I see. That's really the only way I see. And of course, God can do whatever God will do. So we started this coalition. It's early. It's December 3rd, I think, was our first meeting. And this was really the vision, to do something like this on a statewide basis with a coalition of coalitions, a coalition of organizations. Everybody's here from Wisconsin, have been here for a long time, yes? Yeah. Where you from?
Texas.
Okay, how long you been here?
2 years, April.
Okay, did I meet you before? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like I did. So one of the things that has surprised me as we have talked about this multicultural, cross-racial, cross-gender, intergenerational, cross-sector thing is that it has not happened here before in Wisconsin. It's hard for me to digest that just because I just would think it has. I don't, maybe that's oversimplified, but when I talk to people older than me in particular, movement people, they're like, no, this has never happened before. So that really is, I believe it kind of intellectually, it's hard for me to really digest that because it feels like such a natural thing, at least to aspire to. But it isn't. And so this is bigger than we think. And so that's been going well. We've got about 30 organizations. Our core mission is protect lives, build power, and advance a healthy democracy. Protect lives, build power, advance a healthy democracy, the Fight for Our Lives campaign, coalition. And it's been bearing fruit. We've got a structure in place. We've raised some dollars. We've got a steering committee, a finance committee, a voting committee, a messaging committee, and an education committee. We're really early in building our structure. But the beauty is that it's made up of a lot of organizations that are already active and on the move. And so that's exciting. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of work to be done. We're looking in particular at voting for obvious reasons. We're looking at August 11th for the primary, November 3rd for the general election, and then carrying forward into 2028 in mobilizing across the city, the region, and the state. And so that's been fruitful so far. People have been really encouraged. There's a strong desire for this. That does not actually surprise me because I think people of goodwill want to work together to get the right thing done. I think that is also in Wisconsin's DNA. In spite of being such a segregated place, which it is, one of the most segregated in the nation, nonetheless, it's a place where people of goodwill desire to figure out how to work together. We have not done it, so it's like awkward across all those lines, as we're very siloed, so the racial lines are bumpy and awkward, and the regional lines and city lines and the age, and so it's awkward. But as we work through the awkwardness, that's overcomable just by hanging in there together. You hang in there together, you find commonalities, differences too, but I don't find those to be like a high hurdle for working together. I find people want to work together. We underestimate, I think, the level of commitment it takes to sustain working together. Part of that is because of the culture of this place that we're in that's so siloed. So it takes effort and commitment. It's not rocket science, though. It's not impossible. It's not, it's the commitment. It's the willingness to persevere over time together. And I think that's where the success is. So that's the short scoop about the Fight for Our Lives Coalition. We are talking with Tim and dotting I's and crossing T's, and with the expectation that the statewide tour that began as a vision with Tim and through Tim, that I'm sure some of you or all of you know about, yes, no, some?
We talked a little about the tour.
Okay, that we will transform that to become the Fight for Our Lives statewide tour so that it can be more robust, and democracy tour. And so it can be more robust so we can bring these coalitions. Can you turn that down, young man? Thank you, sir. So we can bring the collective resource, that's my son, collective resources of the coalitions together so we can exercise more power, so we can scale it up, make it not big for big's sake, but big for impact's sake. When individuals have a certain amount of aptitude and power, but we all get tired. But institutions working together can have more power. And so we're really excited about that. I'm confident, Tim is confident, we'll be talking about that and finalizing that week, that will be, and I say this with reservation because I don't want to get excited too fast, but I'm excited that should be extremely impactful and very powerful in our region and in our state, and that's what I expected, how I expect it will manifest. That's my and I really know it will be the case because when I have been around the state, I haven't been all over, but I don't go anywhere where I can't and we can't connect with people and around common interests and concerns and wanting to do the best. That's for us, and so it's a really a rich, great opportunity. I'm excited to see how it will manifest, and I look forward to how it and we can strengthen our ability to utilize the unity that has been developed by the Building Unity campaign, and now build some synergies to exercise some righteous power. I come from, I said my father played professional basketball, played professional. So I come from the team sports realm. And in the team sports realm, you know, you have the synergies where your gifts and my gifts get together, and together we're way more dynamic than we would be individually. And then if you and the three of us connect, and I know your gifts and talents, and you know mine, and I know yours, and then you know mine, and I know yours, then we can do that. That's magical for me. That's intoxicating to watch people work together effectively and fluidly, trusting one another, understanding who does what well, who needs to step forward, who needs to step back, who needs to step forward together, who's an operator, who's a speaker, who's a technician, who's a logistician, who's a marketer, who's a spokesperson, who's a servant, and then getting that harmonized is really a powerful thing. And I think that I believe we're going to see that manifest out of this campaign and out of this tour. So those are my thoughts and reflections at 8 and change on this June 10th evening. And that's it. I'm open for discussions, questions, ideas. Again, this is a table. I know I'm sitting here and you all are there, you know, but if it was round, we'd all be at a table and just having discussions. So thoughts, ideas, good to see you again. You were at the last one at my church. Young lady over there, she was there. You were there, right? At my church?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. And were you there also? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were?
Yeah, I was.
No and no. But I think I met you somewhere before.
I would like to throw something in there.
Please.
Open, compassionate, loving, empathetic hearts unite.
Yeah.
And that's where cross-culturally, cross-religious,
Yeah.
cross-sex, people with empathetic, loving, understanding, you know, indiscriminately just taking everybody just as they are,
Yeah.
will create a coalition if you build there. Because I really am of the conviction that there needs to be a new paradigm built to replace what's crumbling, because it is crumbling. That's why it looks so ugly, and that's why they're fighting like cornered animals.
Yeah.
Because they know they're losing control.
That's good.
But there needs to be a new paradigm to fill the vacuum.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good because that's very true. And yes.
And if you build this coalition, this network
Yeah.
of people that you have contact with already, and that when people are finally motivated, you can link up
Yeah.
and have the power.
Yes.
Because, let's face it, we collectively are not gonna rise up until things get a lot more uncomfortable.
Ooh, Lord, that's
I hate to say it.
yeah. It's that's I guess we better be ready then, because it's uncomfortable
Yes,
enough.
yes, but I'm just
for me.
applauding what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that make those connections. You know, I've heard paradigms of, you know, communities of each individual watershed working together.
Okay.
But you can, you are prepared and are organizing and structuring something to cross all the paradigms
Yeah.
and all the bridges and all the divides.
Yeah. And that's a you know yes, creating space for people to thrive, creating space for people to connect is a very important thing.
Like-minded voices can connect with other like-minded voices and hearts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there because we have a force and a fear-based culture.
Yes,
It needs to switch to human.
strongly agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strongly and doable too.
Yeah, very doable.
Yeah,
yes.
and one of the one of the best places I learn about that is this, and this is not so much a statement about faith or not faith, but the opportunity to watch this happen over time. Being a pastor is a great place to learn that because I get to watch for 52 weeks a year now, my 15th year. That's really hard to believe. The shaping and molding and creating of space to do just that, to watch people come together, cultivate relationships, grow together, cry together, weep together, laugh together, tussle a little bit together, but the together piece is the key. That's where those bonds are formed. I agree with that. What's your name?
Dale.
Dale, that's right. All right.
Dale, as I'm hearing you say all those beautiful adjectives that you started listing, if I saw that on a T-shirt and then saw the back, join the whatever, I would follow you. Because I want to hear those words more and more, rather than let's get the billionaires and millionaires out.
Yeah.
I want to hear the positive
Yeah.
things that draw people that are like-minded
Yeah,
together.
you can't use their tactics against
No.
them.
Right.
No. And
It's got to be love and compassion and like-minded hearts coming together.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, that's good. And
And
living it
I
out.
wanna see that more on people's T-shirts rather than,
Yeah.
Let's make it
due
happen.
process only.
Yeah.
Sounds like you just found yourself a good project.
Well, if I weren't having other 5,000
Yeah,
things
yeah.
in my life. But one of the things we talked about tonight and we keep hearing about is the system is wrong. The system is wrong. So it has to change. The paradigm of the system has to change. And I would love to have a thing where not everybody complains about what the system
Yeah.
is,
Right.
but take that complaint and give it a
Yeah.
response
Yep.
that is a hopeful or workable. Because if I just keep hearing about the SNAP funds are being cut, what are we gonna do? What did people do when there weren't SNAP funds? There's gotta be a way to get underneath all these cuts. I mean, we're gonna go back to 1945, it's 1930s, Jim Crow is alive and well, and, people are sleeping, it feels like.
Yeah.
So,
So two things I heard you say. One is, it's easy to say. I'm going to say the same thing you said a different way. What we're against. We're against billionaires and greed. But what are we for? What are we moving towards? The adjectives that you use. That's the one thing I heard you say. And the second thing I heard is, what our. At a certain point, if we're just pointing out problems, we become kind of a broken record. And what are some of the what are the solutions that are available to us? And I think, and I know that that's also a rich opportunity because there are people and organizations like United Gardens Homes and others that are doing good work. I don't know if she talked about mutual aid, and we don't have to talk about it long, but there are some really good pockets of mutual aid here in Milwaukee, I'm sure in other places. I just say that as a singular example of a solution. So solution-oriented conversations, I deeply believe in that. What are we gonna do? I'm a big believer in that. For a little while, here's the problem, okay, let's work on it and work on some solutions.
Is there much youth involvement in the program?
That's relative. There's some youth involvement. We are working on that. That's the short answer. So we have to be intentional and do quite a few things, but we will grow our youth involvement. Some at the coalition level, and then some of the organizations we work with are youth serving and youth in some youth-led organizations. So I'm trying to think of who's around my table. Yeah. So we need to do better at that. but we do have some intentionality around youth work. And tell me your name again.
Carol, Barrington, Carol Barrington.
Kim Lamers.
Kim, okay. Other thoughts, questions?
I really get this thing about history.
Mhm.
Do people know history? Do young people know history? I just get the sense nobody knows history. They're not watching movies that
We're
show
doomed to
history.
repeat it.
Middle age, older. It's not just young. No, we are historically no.
No, it's not.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very selective about our teaching of
Oh
history.
my goodness. No.
Very selective.
No. It's bad. It's worse than whatever you think. It's worse. Our knowledge of history is.
Where is your flock? Where is your pulpit?
84th and Capitol?
Thursday night.
84th and Keith? Yeah.
There's something there.
Thursday
Oh,
night.
right. You're right.
Just north of Blue Line.
Yeah.
Join us, Dale.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Join
Phase
us tomorrow
250.
night.
So no, but that's and it's important. It's super important to know that the knowledge of history. That's
Civics.
that's the bad news. The good news is we can teach the basics and it'll help people a lot. But the knowledge of history, because I don't know, it's bad. It's whatever you think it is. It's very, very bad.
Well, it's like if the history's being repeated within 40 years.
You can tell people something and they'll nod their head and you'll find out they don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
To quote Gandhi,
Huh?
be the change
Yes.
you want to see in the world.
Yes.
Embody it.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you all again. Some of you will be at my church tomorrow. Yeah.
Dale,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you all for sticking
All right.
around. I know we went a long time today, but it was really
Nice.
worth it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you know about tomorrow night?